Hey everyone, Kresil is back, and so the information I was going to share with you all the other day was the news surrounding the director's cut of Justice League. And frankly, we had quite a few changes with the Snyder Cut so far. First off, we heard it was going to be changed into a TV miniseries. And second, we got into detail that it was going to undergo some reshoots as well as some additional scenes. Just as well as they turn out quite good though. Because reshoots are usually a bad sign that something doesn't really turn out good in the end though. Just because a certain studio is unhappy with the original result. And quite recently, the latest buzz surrounding the Snyder Cut is that Jared Leto is confirmed to return as the Joker from Suicide Squad. That's right, you've heard me correctly people. Jared Leto is officially returning as the Joker in the Snyder Cut of Justice League.
Dramatic reverb.
Now, what do I think about this? Well, that depends, because I might start to get a feeling that Leto would send used condoms and live rats to the cast, like he did to the cast of Suicide Squad to get into character. Because believe it or not, that was actually one of the biggest stories surrounding the making of Suicide Squad, seeing that Leto was sending the cast and crew these strange gifts, and generally just creeping everyone out. Because of Leto's reputation of being a method actor, I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to accomplish just by posting these creepy gifts to his co-stars and scaring the shit out of them, even when his performance in the film turned out to be quite crap. Well, as far as some of you may know, many actors have gone through many different preparations in order to play their own versions of the Joker. For example, but what exactly did Jared Leto do to prepare for his role of the Joker? Well, all he basically did was trim off all his hair and put on some lipstick to look the part more, I guess, obviously. But the real question is, what did he actually do to commit himself to a role that would have changed his life for the better? Well, other than the fact that he tested out different Joker laughs to see which would make people the most uncomfortable, which I don't really think is part of the method, I went onto IMDb a few months before the film was released, and I looked up that Leto said that he wanted his Joker to be more comic book accurate than the other versions. Which is probably why he sent all those disturbing presents to the Suicide Squad cast. That probably sums it all up though. Even though someone on YouTube called the Internet Janitor made a different prediction on why Leto did those things on set, and thought it was because he wanted the attention for it.
And I have a theory for why he did all these weird things besides just trying to be a method actor. I think he wanted to do everything he could to be bigger than Heath. Obviously, there was a lot of behind the scenes buzz about Heath Ledger's Joker, so at the release of the movie, all people could talk about was how Ledger locked himself in a room for a month to train for the role, and how he was always in character on set and constantly sleep deprived. So I believe Leto saw all these things and decided he wanted to be an icon too. The problem is that he let it all go to his head. He was acting like he nailed the part before filming had even begun, so he transcended it into this territory that was just cringe.
But looking back at Leto's performance after I managed to get the film on DVD a few years back, I kind of see why he wanted his Joker to stay true to the comics, but it was just too painful to watch just listening to his dialogue.
Are you sweet talking me? I love this guy. He's so intense. Oh, the only, the infamous Harley Quinn. My guests to this handsome hunka. Look, are you enjoying yourself? All of that chit-chat's gonna get you hurt. I could tell you meant that.
And I know some of you may disagree with me on this, but there is actually one good scene in the film with Jared Leto's Joker. The scene where Harley Quinzel falls back into the chemical vat and becomes Harley Quinn. This might be the only moment in the film where Leto is actually playing it cool and not making us cringe. He does say a few words I think the Joker said in the comics, but I think the scene is actually worth going back to, and also has the soundtrack in the back to support it. I especially like the way he leans back and laughs maniacally when he joins Harley in the vat. It really shows the goodness of that scene, and while it's supposed to make the Joker even crazier after the first time he fell in the vat, this scene is worth giving a thumbs up to. So aside all that, I really think Leto should have been recast, if not with Joaquin Phoenix, because quite a few directors have actually refused to work with Leto after Suicide Squad. Quite notably, James Gunn, who had decided to go without Leto for his Suicide Squad reboot, which comes out next year. But honestly, I think the problem is that the DCEU seems to be refusing to recast any of its roles, even if most people find that they are not well acted or cast. Like for instance Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, even though he was eventually toned down towards the end of the Joss Whedon directed Justice League, but I don't really know what good they'll do for the Snyder Cut either. But the Marvel Cinematic Universe managed to recast their roles though, like when they recast Edward Norton with Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, and Terrence Howard with Don Cheadle as Rhodey. Though the reason they were recast was because they were causing behind-the-scenes dramas throughout the first stages of the MCU. However, with the recent passing of Chadwick Boseman this year, that is quite a different story altogether, as it's not looking like that his character will be looking to get recast anytime soon, as it will seem like the MCU will have to continue without the character of T'Challa, aka the Black Panther. Speaking of recasting roles in the DCEU, there have been rumours that Amber Heard is looking to get fired from Aquaman 2 due to lawful allegations with her ex-husband Johnny Depp, following a court order. But I'd actually rather they didn't try to recast Amber Heard as Mira, because she's already confirmed to return for the Snyder Cut, and I actually think she's more of a decent choice for the role of Mira, so I wouldn't actually recommend recasting her anytime soon though. However, though Edward Norton and Terrence Howard were recast due to being difficult to work with, Jared Leto should have been recast for the exact same reason. But because Warner Brothers don't want to recast any of their roles, they prefer to chase up with the MCU and not change one thing with the actors involved, even if they might seem miscast. So despite James Gunn and the director of Birds of Prey deciding not to work with Leto after Suicide Squad, Leto is still under contract to play the Joker in future films, even though he was nominated for Worst Supporting Actor in Suicide Squad. Much like Jesse Eisenberg was nominated for Worst Supporting Actor in Batman v Superman. And Razzies are a definition of actors giving a performance so bad you may never see any improvements from them in the future. Even if they might. But oddly enough, Dakota Johnson and Jamie Dornan won Razzies for Worst Actress and Worst Actor for 50 Shades of Grey, but they somehow returned for 2 more films. And they still didn't get better over time. Even so much for that paycheck. Also, Kristen Stewart won a Razzie for playing Snow White in Snow White and the Huntsman, and for good reason. But somehow she wasn't recast because Universal somehow wanted to keep the actress canon within the Huntsman franchise and just continued it without her. And while Cara Delevingne's Enchantress also got a lot of hate because of her inability to actually act, it didn't really bother me all that much, as I still want to see her in future films in the DC Extended Universe. However, with the exception of Jared Leto's involvement as the Joker in Suicide Squad, we could have expected a bit better. And though I haven't seen Leto's other works prior to Suicide Squad, I do know that he went through other preparations for his past roles, and now that he's finally got an Oscar, we could have seen his full potential flow once more if he made such a great Joker. But that was the problem, and despite all the expectations being subverted, we all wanted to like Jared Leto's Joker, but regardless of the overall behind the scenes buzz, it's just too hard to get over. That's why I wanted Joaquin Phoenix to be the new Joker in the DC Extended Universe, even if he might turn down the opportunity to appear in a huge franchise like he did with the MCU. But he is confirmed to appear in several more Joker sequels, so I guess that's quite a good start for him. So that's the end of all that. But what do you guys think? Do you think we should give Leto another chance? And do you think he has what it takes to give us a good Joker performance this time? Lay down your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye.